McLaren's description of luxury, engagement and excitement, on-road and track, with an electrically retractable hardtop may sound like it's describing a three-car garage, but in fact it refers to just one. The 650S Spider, part of the Woking manufacturer's Super Series lineup, is seemingly all things to all drivers, or at least the very rich ones, offering many desirable but diametrically opposite properties in one package. What's truly remarkable, and worrying for cars like the Porsche 911 Turbo Cabriolet, Ferrari 488 Spider and Lamborghini Huracan Spider, is the depth in which it delivers on that promise. Takes the best from the P1 Previously, this model had a slightly less aggressive front end and was called the 12C, an extremely fast yet comfortable car that made similar claims of everyday usability. The 650S represents more than a mere facelift of the 12C. Although it has inherited the family looks of the P1 hypercar, McLaren claims it has also plowed tech from that model into its more earthly Super Series lineup. As a consequence of the power hike, the 650S Spider is now faster. It dispatches 0.62 miles per hour in 3 seconds, and races onto a maximum speed of 204 miles per hour, no noticeable performance penalty. Usually chopping the roof off a car requires additional bracing. The usual expectation is you get a drop-top version that is both heavier and less precise than the coupe. Not so in the 650S Spider, largely thanks to its carbon fiber tub construction, which means no extra body strengthening was required. As such, it weighs just 40 kilograms more, mostly due to the roof mechanism itself. You can put the tow-piece top up or down in about 17 seconds and up to speeds of 19 miles per hour, and it's best to leave it down to make the most of the dramatic engine sound. You could accuse some supercars of subtlety, but not the McLaren 650S Spider. This is an angular, aggressive, and in the case of our test car, bright orange, speed machine that lays its cards out on the table before you've even pressed the starter button. Petrol Engine, let's get the numbers out of the way first because they only tell half the story. 3.8 litres, 650 horsepower, 678 Newton-meters of torque and 0.62 miles per hour in 3 seconds flat, the same as the coupe. The McLaren 650S Spider is devastatingly quick, piling on huge speed at a rate your brain will struggle to comprehend. Keep the throttle pinned on a racetrack and you'll see 124 miles per hour in 8.6 seconds and a top speed of 204 miles per hour. The engine, nestled low down and aft of the cockpit, is the same basic unit used throughout the McLaren range, although the 650S Spider features different pistons, cylinder heads, exhaust valves, cam timing to boost power levels. The manufacturer claims it designed the 650S with the relentless, instantaneous power of its hybrid P1 in mind. As a result, there's less of a power spike in the middle of the rev range than you get in a 570S, and you have to look hard in high gears to find any turbo lag. It helps that the 7-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox is equally responsive. It seems to know exactly what ratio you need when you need it, making the single-piece rocker paddle shifter redundant on all but the most spirited drives. You feel instantly in tune with the engine, making the performance of the 650S more accessible than you'd expect. It's also hugely fun at any speed. This is not the type of supercar that feels asleep on a public road. There's a characterful pop on upshifts thanks to something called cylinder cut technology, which adds to the already quite dramatic soundtrack, itself only amplified by the lack of roof. There are better sounding cars out there, but that's a bit like trying to rank Michelin-starred restaurants. It's all down to personal taste. The familiar 3 drive modes are present here, called Normal, Sport and Track. There's a dial to adjust the engine and gearbox and another for the handling. The second 2 settings give you faster gear shifts and a sharper throttle. As with the 570S, we were really impressed by this setup, especially the way you can lock in your favorite settings before deploying them with the active button. The McLaren 650S may look like it's been sculpted to make car enthusiasts weak at the knees, but it's actually a case of function leading form. Those scoops and creases direct tear over the body to help increase grip by downforce. According to the manufacturer, the front bumper helps pin down the steering wheels at higher speeds to help you turn in with confidence, while massive side intakes push air into the engine's radiators. A dry weight of 1,330 kilograms reveals the necessity for an aerodynamic helping hand. This is a very light and powerful car. For extreme situations, there's even an air brake, a square piece of bodywork at the rear of the car that can pop up when it senses a need for more downforce, such as under braking or after driving over a crest. As a result, the McLaren 650S is an exceptionally light and agile thing to drive, with a sharp turn-in from the fast steering rack and seemingly endless mid-corner grip. This is in part down to the car's brake steer technology, where the car slows the inside rear wheel to help bring the nose closer to the apex of the corner. It's a bit like a torque vectoring differential, but promises to reduce understeer too. The brakes themselves are standard carbon ceramic types that offer enormous stopping power and impressive resistance to fade. They bite hard when you want them to, but remain unusually usable at low speed, where traditionally this type of braking system feels quite binary and hard to modulate. At the heart and soul of the McLaren's handling prowess is the proactive chassis control suspension system, which hydraulically links all four corners of the car to help combat body roll. It also means there is real distinction between the handling in normal, sport and track modes, offering everything between supple comfort in the first setting and hunkered down body control in the latter. Most impressive, of course, is the steering, which, like in the 570S, reacts to your every input with a measured and predictable response. You get stacks of feedback through the wheel and the confidence to really stretch the McLaren's chassis.